Well, good morning, and today I'd like to talk about Psalm 115. Treasure and Heart is my title. Jesus summarizes what I'm going to talk about with this. It's funny, I'm starting with the conclusion. Maybe I'll end with the introduction. But from Matthew chapter 6, verse 21, Jesus says this: "For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." The psalm says that, what Jesus is summarizing there, says that in a different way. This is how it says it. I'm starting not at the beginning, but at verse 4. "But their idols are silver and gold, made by human hands. They have mouths, but cannot speak, eyes, but cannot see. They have ears, but cannot hear, noses, but cannot smell. They have hands, but cannot feel, feet, but cannot walk, nor can they utter a sound from their throats. Those who make them," referring to the idols, "those who make them will be like them." And just as a note here, and those of you who are following my devotionals here on the Psalms, eventually you're going to have a good course on the interpretation of Psalms. But this verse right here is right smack in the middle of the Psalm, and that's a good way to know. It's always good to look right in the middle of a Psalm sometimes, because you can get the main point of the whole Psalm. And this is in verse 8 what it is: "Those who make them, those who make idols, will be like them, and so will all who trust in them." What a statement. By the way, you can find these same lines. So that was chapter 4 to chapter 8. You can find the same lines repeated in Psalm 135. Another good indication that maybe this is something important here. We in our culture today, we don't associate much with idols, in the form of animals, humans, even planets. Making such things, making such idols, and then putting them in a central place in our home or living space, attributing value to them and meaning to them, and then worshiping them. We don't associate much with that. That part of it's not part of our modern culture, if I'll put it that way. What is part of our culture is finding meaning and value in created things, and putting our trust in those created things. That part we're actually quite good at. What this psalm is saying is that whatever you value the most in life, that's what you're going to become yourself. Right? So those who make them will be like them, the psalm says. So we have fancy words today for all of it. I mean, there's fancy words for everything, isn't there? But if you value money, you'll eventually become a materialist. If you value pleasure, then you become a hedonist. If you value working, you'll become a pragmatist. Guess what? It's only if you value Jesus Christ above all else, then you become a Christian. Making any other created thing central in our lives begins to warp us. Isaiah 44 verse 20 is clear. There's many verses I could choose. I thought this one was interesting. Isaiah 44:20, "Such a person feeds on ashes. A deluded heart misleads him. He cannot save himself, or say, 'Is not this thing in my right hand a lie? Is not this thing in my right hand a lie?'" And in other words, a person with a warped mind who has made created things central in his life cannot even recognize a lie, cannot even save himself, is what Isaiah is saying. So, yes, idols are lies, but it doesn't stop there. Idols don't just stop after they've disappointed us. Eventually, they enslave us. So, why do we do it? Why do we do it? Because we want a God we can control. We want to be able to manage Him, to manage God. If we make money our God, we feel as if we can control that money. If we make other people our gods, we set out to control them. It makes us feel better or feel in control. But we can't control God. The psalmist says, our God is in heaven. He does whatever pleases Him. And God is saying, don't reduce me. Don't try to fit me into your lifestyle. Don't try to control me. That's why over and over in Revelations it says, whoever has ears, let him hear. Don't be a person who has ears but does not hear. Let me finish with verse 1. I told you I'd finish with the conclusion, right? So here's, or finish with the introduction, yeah. So verse 1 of this psalm goes like this. Not to us, Lord, not to us, but to your name be the glory, because of your love and faithfulness. Yes, Lord, you are faithful in my life, and you are my God. And I will not make any created thing into my God. Well, that's what I get out of this psalm. Lord bless you today.